Hey guys, I'm just here from Solution 9, and I'm gonna be getting a regulator on my head. I have my friend here, and he's gonna put it on my head.
Here.
I'm so beautiful now. Here we go. Okay, now to actually get into the video before people smack me. So, hey guys, I found an amazing Reddit post that was made a few hours ago, and I actually really did want to comment on it, and so that's what this video is going to mostly be about. This game has reached a critical point where more is wrong with it than there is right. And they say, new players, please do not read on, as you should enjoy the game as it is. This post is for the long-term players of all varieties to express discontentment with the state of the game at its current mid-expansion lifecycle. I'm going to be honest, it's not just a mid-expansion thing. This has been something that people have been talking about since basically Dawntrail's release, if I'm honest. But if you've been around this channel for a while, you know that I've been talking about some of these issues since about mid-Endwalker. I took a skim over it. This is mostly a live react, but I like skimmed over it and I'm like, oh yeah, I do want to talk about this. So the first point that they make is on communication. Communication is one of the biggest things here, and the lack of it only serves to stir the continually simmering frustrations. Back in Endwalker, there was regular communications and apologies about the state of the servers, the game, the housing system, infrastructure, upgrades, etc. While they weren't always what everyone wanted, the regular communication did serve as an anchor to the community to please hold on a little longer. This is what we are doing. We are doing what we can. However, as the expansion progressed, we saw less and less communications as more issues arose. The player base was not being listened to, and there was not a whisper in the wind about any attempts to fix the many issues listed below that could have caused serious tensions and caused a lot of people to quit. So I have a few thoughts on this. The first one is that Final Fantasy XIV, I would say in the past, has been a massive pioneer in this field of like communicating to players about issues, like the live letters, for instance. Absolutely revolutionary at the time. However, I would say that there has been a lot of questions that have been raised by the community, and some of them are mine, for instance, such as, why are we going this route of job homogenization? Why exactly when games like Guild Wars 2, because people will be like, oh, just play World of Warcraft, you want to play World of Warcraft, and I don't. But Guild Wars 2, Elder Scrolls Online, so many MMORPGs have full-on pet classes. Why did Final Fantasy XIV lose their one? And unfortunately, that's an issue that I'm still kind of fighting today because I don't really have a main DPS myself. So questions like that. But especially with the term midcore, I think that midcore between Japanese and North American servers is, I don't want to say a point of contention, but there's going to be a big difference there, and it's just like, where is the more casual content? Like the content that you could just get off of work, you could just slide in there, just get it done, where it's like you don't need to study beforehand, you can just chill, it's interesting, it's novel, it's meaty, it's not a grind that you're going to just finish in like a day. And it feels like I've been asking that question since like 2023. I think it was August or September of 2023 that I made a video, and I got a huge amount of backlash on it. And Occult Crescent has been the first type of content that I think was really, really good for like casual players. I'll save you my ocean fishing opinions, but I don't really think that that's what people would come for 14 for. Whereas I think BOZJA is for many reasons a fantastic example of it. But my point is, in terms of communications, there's been a good lacking there, and on some of the things, and it's like, we have a live letter obviously coming up in a few days. Don't think that I don't appreciate the developers doing that, because obviously I do. Like, shoot, I love the detail that they go into for those, but there's some very serious community questions that have been brought up that just aren't really being addressed. One that has been addressed somewhat, but I don't think fully, was the player scope plugin issue, for those who remember it, and for those who don't know what I'm talking about. At this point, I don't even know if it's better if I tell you. I have a video on my channel if you want to check it out on the player scope plugin. Creepy plugin, nasty plugin, freak plugin. I have a lot of different words on that one, if I'm honest. I laugh, but not because it's a good thing. That the plugin's actually genuinely fucked. Don't let me mince words or deceive you. It's fucked. But there's been issues with the player IDs, and apparently people like broke the I think it was like an in-house encryption or something like that. Apparently some people were reporting that they broke it real quick, and a whole bunch of other issues. But we haven't gone to communication on that front, for instance. But they were really good up front initially on talking about that. So I'm trying to give credit where credit is due, but we haven't heard anything on that one since. But that's another thing. But I think more for what we're worried about here is things like casual player content, main story quest line, and stuff like that. And so, moving to the next point, because we will be like, why is he stun locked on this one point? Because I'm trying to be fair. I don't want to be negative, overly negative, and but I also want to evaluate things for kind of what they are, because I do want to see things improve. That's why I make these videos. But main story quest line is the next point they raised. The vast majority of the people in this game played for the MSQ. I think that's something that we like, but we don't stick around for just the MSQ. That's not enough to make a player stick. Yeah, it's important, but I disagree there. But then they continue saying, which as of late has been sorely lacking. I personally thought it's okay on the Dawntrail story, but then I let it stew for a few months, after which I finally came to the conclusion that it was awful, terribly paced, and there would have been better served as a post-expansion MSQ to set up for whatever we're yet to do. Everything after the Endwalker climax was just when it started going downhill. The post-Endwalker MSQ just served as uninspired FF4 fan service. Aw, I loved Zero. I I actually thought she was badass. I loved her. But post-Endwalker MSQ just served as uninspired FF4 fan service with little to no progression on the overall world, and would have been better as a side story for the trials. I'm not done with that point. But the post-Dawntrail MSQ has picked up somewhat, but it will unlikely reach the same climax as 4.3 plus 5.3. 4.3, wasn't that Tsukiyomi? I'm pretty sure that was. Oh my god, she was fucking great, bro. That Stormblood thing, I loved that part of it. That was so lit, like, for real. Sorry, I digress. Oh, but yeah, and then 5.3, that's when we fought, I think, Elidibus, and then we had the Hero's Gauntlet dungeon. That was so good. That was so good. Will we reach the same climax? Remains to be seen. I'm gonna be honest. No spoilers, but 7.2 was a drastic improvement in my opinion. 7.1, I got to the end of that dungeon, and basically it was like, yeah, this lizard girl, she's a creep. She's a fangirl creep, and she wants to totally it's a war criminal who's an insecure narcissistic bastard. Bro, I miss Xenos. You have no idea how much I miss Xenos at this point. You're not supposed to say that, Cole, but damn it. You cannot tell me that whatever evil angry Twinkie lizard. It was not as good as Xenos. I can't even remember his name. I know it's not BOZJA, it's Gaga Goo something, or it was something Gaga Goo or some shit. But MSQ, this is more opinion based. I personally like the Dawntrail story. I thought it was cute. I remember when I went to the media tour that they said, hey, the world has a lot of bad things going on right now, which is, oh my god, I don't even want to click the thumbnails that I'm sent to my notifications anymore. But I think that it was a cute thing. I liked it. I liked my alpacas. But I know I'm in the minority there. But I think that it's the reset, and we know that it was like a decade build up to Highland and Zodiark, and so it's what are you gonna do? I don't I think that they could have done different things with the story. I'm the first to agree. But for what it was, and for getting off the ground after a 10-year story arc, I can't hate what they did, if I'm honest. I think that they did their best. Next point is very, very critical. Data center and population. There is a serious lack of MMO in this MMORPG in some regions. No, bitch. No. I can't even grab my thingy. There's not just in the data center thing. It is more like we have a fucking lack of MMO content in this MMO. Bro, when we literally go into our little expert roulettes, when we go and all this other shit, and during the live letter, you know what they're going to announce is they are literally going to announce the deep dungeon. And what is that? That's mostly solo content. I thought we were fucking done with this shit. But, sorry, an opinion came out there. I just want good group content like BOZJA and shit. I loved Eureka, too, because it's like when you were waiting for NMs to spawn and like killing things to get the NM to spawn, you were shit-talking in shout chat. That's what it was all about, the shit talk. Oh my god, I still have friends from back then. That's way before I made a channel. Fuck. I love that shit. But we need more MMO in our MMO, with great irony. And so it's just like they're going to announce the Eureka orthos of this expansion, and I'm like, bro, Eureka orthos within a week, bro. But I digress. Shh, I know I'm yapping, but I hope you see everything that I'm saying. It's just... girl. Data center and population. There's a serious lack of MMO in this MMORPG. Period. But then they continue saying in some regions, but again, period. We have an issue. The intent to add more servers and open them up to each other within a region has backfired spectacularly. Dynamis is a shell of a data center where players can't do content, so they join other NA data centers and get stuck in a queue or quit trying. No, Dynamis is when they do that weird locked off bullshit where all the raid groups go, and where I was in a static earlier, and it was like a more casual one, and they were like, get to Dynamis, and I'm like, oh, don't take me off of Gilgamesh, please. And then I still went, but that's what Dynamis is to me. That's like the purgatory that I get relegated to. That come raid with us here, and I'm like, oh, shut up. But so they join other NA data centers and get stuck in a queue or quit trying. I don't know too much about that. All I know is I'm on Gilgamesh, the base server, and 8th at the best data center. No bias. Bitches hate that, and that's why I keep doing it, because it's funny as fuck. But if you're not proud of your server, get the fuck off of it. Like, come on, hashtag pride. Hashtag pride month. Put some rainbow emojis on the shit. If I could do that right now, I'd totally put rainbow emojis. Actually, my friend who's behind us is gay enough, he could just be a rainbow emoji. But, Oceania, being the only region that all players can travel to, has turned it into a ghost town. Bro, Oceania, like there was a person that I used to be friends with who was, like, from, like, Australia, and even he was just like, I'm not making, like, I'll make a character there, but I'm not transferring everything there. It was just like, hell no. But yeah, it's turned to a ghost town. Yeah, vast majority of locals have left to more populated regions. They didn't even leave in the first place, honey, as they go anywhere, but materia locals are locked there and cannot move anywhere, so why stay? They didn't. Mana is suffering under the weight of all Japanese players going there to raid, while Elemental is confused about what raiding strats to use for consistency among the Japanese region. The incentives to move to the preferred realms is downright pathetic. True. The road to X buff is worthless. True. to established players, and 1 million gil is not worth uprooting and leaving entire communities for. These benefits to move only apply to new players. The rewards for moving to lesser populated regions and servers should absolutely be increased massively to entice established players to move and stay/play on lower population data centers. Things like increased home rewards, tome cap. Yeah, I was about to say tome rewards, bro. With a 450 cap, no one gives a fuck. Like, if you can't hit a tome cap, like, you're just not playing the fucking game. Increased raid rewards. Like, what, though? Like, that's the problem. Is, like, so you can gear your character quicker. But we have an entire rant. I don't even think they covered this in this post. When I skimmed it, I don't think they were even talking about gearing issues. The weekly lockouts and the other... Bro. They didn't even cover that here, and so let's not get it there. But what would your increased raid rewards be? Continuing with what they said, would be far better rewards to move than some worthless or meaningless buffs and currency. Additional cross data center party finders desperately needed. Yeah, we brought it up during the media tour, but they said that they might look into it. Like, they didn't commit to looking into it. Like, I don't want to put words in their mouth, but they're aware for all the regions to help those with multiple data centers. In the case of materia, something far more rewarding for locals is needed. Excuse me. Since the population has no access to other data centers, even putting materia under the Japanese region with the same physical location would be more ideal than leaving it as the isolated ghost town that it is. Hey, but you can get a large house there. Isn't that enough? Someone's gonna slap me for that. But, we still have not heard anything back about the testing for all regions. Testing for all regions. Either. By the way, so materia is still open to everyone while the rest of the world is locked. So we may need to stop the boats and send them back. No, that sentence does make sense. It just took me a second to think about it. I have nothing really to add to that. I'm on Gilgamesh, on Aether. That means that I suppose in this capacity at least, privileged. What do I even say to that? Yeah. I can't disagree with anything. I think that it's a toxic system. I hear all the time how people have to come to Aether in order to raid, and I'm like, well, that does suck. It's just like, I'm trying to imagine myself away from my own house, which is just where I'm usually AFK. Like, if you're trying to actually find me in game, that's probably the best way you're gonna find it. No retainers, no friends. Do you get friends list? I don't think you do. No free company. I mean, what am I supposed to say to that? It fucking sucks. Next point that they say is UI systems. There are some bonuses to the UI systems, like 14 being able to move and customize it to the extent you can. Sorry, I really didn't sleep well last night. Not intentional. But however, many other games also have implemented this, and thus the innovation is lacking. The limitations of the game's code is making most of the UI systems weigh down on the game itself, and many people use plugins to account for the lack of minor QoL improvements this game sorely needs. Things like not being able to select how many items you wish to purchase. No, we don't want a 9-9 stack. Not being able to change a DOH, Disciple of Hand job, like a crafter, after you made a craft into a different one. Oh yeah, because you need to get up. Yeah, you need to even completely get up and like out of the crafting mode and just to swap. It's actually a pain in the ass. Not being able to display the full countdown time. Lack of chat bubbles. Chat bubbles, bro. Anyone remember the chat bubble scandal? That was a few years ago, but my god. And let's not forget the most important, the glamour system. You're gonna get a rant in a second. The miserable amount of glamour plates. Yeah, it's only 20. Isn't it 20? It's like 20 or 25. It's just not enough. I stopped even using the system because I too many. But for how many jobs there are, make even those basic gameplay systems of MMOs looking cool difficult to do. So here's the rant. And I thought, you know what? I'm not gonna full on rant. Why is it that World of Warcraft and Guild Wars 2 just smash this system when it comes to like looking different? And like, that's not me saying I hate 14. Like, no fucking shit, I love this game. Do you see me making videos on those games? No, you don't. But it's just like, it's come to the point where it's like, why in World of Warcraft, as soon as some shit hits your inventory, it's added onto this giant catalog. And that giant catalog even lets you try on things that you don't even own. Like, I'm gonna say it here because people will be like, oh, what are your thoughts on that? I almost feel like Final Fantasy XIV's resting on its laurels, because when Shitterlands hit for World of Warcraft, it was bad. It was just bad. There's no way to say it. It was shit. And I tried playing Shitterlands, and eventually me and Brendan eventually quit. And just completely focused on 14. Shitterlands was shit. But it's like, since then, it feels like Final Fantasy XIV really has rested on its laurels. Like, compare BOZJA to Occult Crescent. And, bro, like, I know that this post isn't even fucking talking about BOZJA and Occult Crescent, but my point is, it feels like 14 is not wanting to innovate at all. It feels like the formula is strangling the game at this point. They're just not trying, and they're resting on their laurels that they did rightfully so earn. But, bro, where the fuck is, like, what do you call it? Like, any innovation? Where is the passion? Where is the... Why is this still an issue? Why is chat bubbles still an issue? Wasn't it, I might get his name wrong, but it was like Fire Dancer or some shit, like, who was streaming, and Fire Dancer got fucking banned for chat bubbles. Like, what the fuck? And we're like years later. Like, I think Fire Dancer went back to World of Warcraft or some shit. Like... Like, I feel like 14, the biggest issue is we're relying on the exact formula, and we haven't deviated a bit. In fact, especially with Occult Crescent, I feel like we've taken 15 steps backward. Occult Crescent compared to BOZJA, you gonna tell me? Are you gonna tell my dumb bitch ass, which is a dumb bitch ass, that Occult Crescent is even close to BOZJA? I mean, I'm stupid as fuck. But I'm not that stupid. I know I could have said that at the end of the video, but that's just immediately what... No, that rant applies to this next point too. Housing. In Final Fantasy XIV, housing is amazing visually with some very cool lighting. And I think more than the lighting's cool. Like, the system is fundamentally amazing, and that, like, a few years ago, it was groundbreaking, revolutionary, fantastic. And then they said that's where the good things end. The system's limitations and movement tools are limiting and restricted. Other games such as Warframe already had implemented more customizable placement systems long ago, and games such as Rift allowed you to multiple housing realms. I never played Rift, but that actually sounds kind of cool. The item limit has no justification to exist. True. And the demolition requirement to constantly log in is forced and tedious. I would actually use the word, it is, like, abusive. Like, you might mince words there. I think it's predatory. And that's, like, is it predatory like gacha games? Obviously fucking not. But it's still, like, dangling something over your head saying, well, if you don't do this, you're gonna lose your house, bitch. You know that large on Gilgamesh that you fought like a dog for? Better keep paying, oi baby. That's why I say the word I do. What the fuck do you mean, tedious? And again, remember, I love the devs, and I do. And I love the game, and I do. But you know what? When there's some bullshit, you gotta call out said bullshit. Sorry, I probably slid out of camera frame. I got a wheelie chair, pretty much like any other gamer, so I think I wheeled back too far. With World of Warcraft housing coming soon at an impressive 10,000 item slots, as many floors as you want. Holy shit. I'm gonna make an apartment building. Or like if you played the old Pokemon games with like the giant shopping malls. Oh my god, I could do that. Room customization and much more. There will no longer be reason to waste on sub on 14 for housing enthusiasts. Okay, so real talk. I haven't talked much about World of Warcraft housing, but like, oh my god, I love Zeppla. Like, she's just a delightful person. I have nothing but amazing things to say about her, and so like I watch her content, like I largely just lurk, which I lurk like basically everywhere. Like even Xeno and everything. Like I have so many good things to say about Arthur, Xeno, Zeppla, and everyone. But Zepla's been covering a whole lot about the WoW housing. Oh my god, so has Lanaton. And like I've been keeping up with that. I'm actually really impressed with the housing there. And I think I might actually do like in my free time, I don't think I'll cover it on this channel, but like some some Worgen vampiric housing content. The cycle of life. I'll play a Vampire, you play the Worgen, and well, we'll reenact the circle of life. Oh my god, is that a... Yeah, that's a joke. But what else can I say on that? It's the resting on the laurels thing again. You've already heard my rant about the resting on the laurels thing. The housing system is totally that. Next thing is content. My enjoyment of the game personally is endgame raiding, ultimate raiding, chaotic, and the likes. The game has been pretty good so far for raiders in Dawntrail. However, the content for people that do not raid has been dwindling and forcing them to quit. The fuck do you mean dwindling? It's been... Criterion and variant dungeons were meant for casuals? Bro, fucking no. Bro, like, I've been doing, like, Aloe Island, like, not seriously, but, like, I just did it with a few friends and just tossed us in. That Pride boss, the, like, first thing, it's, like, Ukulabukaki or some shit, that flying fish thing. Bro, that shit, it was harder. Gonna get so many toxic comments for this. I look forward to it, but you know you're gonna be toxic because you know it's true. That gay pride fish, that floating little abomination, was harder than any of the savage raids that I've done so far in Dawntrail. Bro, that's gonna piss off some people, but you fucking know it. Pride fish was harder, especially when it has those like spawny little crabs that it does, and then you need to dodge all that. And yes, I passed that boss, but like, you can't tell me M4S was harder than the friggin' Yukabukak pride fish thing. Come on, that fish was hard. That is not casual content. Get out of here. And that was the easiest one. Like, we also had another Sildin's Terrain Savage, and we had whatever the other one was. And then we had Eureka Orthos. Okay, Eureka Orthos in a nutshell, for those who didn't experience it. HP sponges that spawn really quickly. Have fun. But, oh, and then there's the live letter in a few days where they're going to be like, here is Eureka Orthos 2.0. Remember how you can't level in Occult Crescent? We want you to level in Eureka Orthos. And I'm like... I'm so glad that I don't need to level anything anymore, because I think it took me one day until I was like, Eureka Orthos, I'm like, oh hell the fuck no. I was like, no, this is not a thing. Not for me. Then it took about a week, and then everyone else was like, but I digress. But yeah, this person even says this. I asked them, why are you even still subbed to this game? To which their response was, I don't actually know anymore. Island was solo, true. Variant ran out as soon as it was done. Bro, it had like... You just brought up a Mione video, and you watched all the paths, and you finished it in like, fucking what? 5 hours? Bro, no. That shit don't count. I'm so sorry. But daily roulette is boring too. What else is there for non-raiding mid-core casual players? I'm an expert in this because I've been informed. Ocean fishing, bitch. Ocean fishing. Fuck yeah. Do you know what we gonna do, fam? We gonna do ocean fishing. Aren't you excited? Ocean fishing for the casual players. Ocean fishing. Did you know there was some bitch on the subreddit, this same subreddit, and they fucking told me the best insult ever, and just I'm dead. This bitch literally told my bitch ass Occult Crescent is more boring than ocean fishing. And you know what I said? I was like, holy shit. Because actually, when I read that, it hit me. And I had tears running down my face. That's the worst fucking insult I've ever heard. If you want to insult a piece of content, you say ocean fishing is more interesting than this. Your man looks so boring. He looks like he enjoys ocean fishing.
Getting cancelled on Twitter 101.
Oops. But keep being informed. You haven't done ocean fishing. Where's your world-class troller title if you want content to do? And I'm like, I would literally rather be lampooned by a plastic spork just through my organs.
Oh my god, the mitochondrias.
Than do ocean fishing. I said this before, but it's just like, I think that the best way to get a new player to quit, or like a free trial player, would be like, hey, welcome to Final Fantasy XIV. Hey, I bet you're really excited for this game. Do you want to hear what you have to look forward to at Endgame? I have it for you. It's ocean fishing. And then you just watch them instantly just gamage into a petal of flowers, and it's just like, get gamaged, bitch. No quicker way to make a free trial player quit. Oh. No, blood. Yeah, the game has hemorrhaged its mid-core players by not giving them bite-sized check-in, check-out content for years now. Yeah, I said that in 2023. And guess what? I had some streamer bring me up on their channel, and they were like gamaging their wig for like 5 hours. Because I said that. And was I fucking wrong? No, because it's almost like I played the fucking game. Fuck me. No. But next point is raiding, and this is a form of perspective of long-term, semi-hardcore raider, and so this could be quite subjective. Just like anyone's opinion, it's going to be subjective. My opinion is subjective. Lots of people love ocean fishing, and they're going to literally gamage me. Cancellation on Twitter, imminent. Ultimates are by far the best thing in this game, hands down. But the first 2 pieces of challenging content in this expansion were underwhelming, and besides top, Endwalker raids got very stale. M1S through M4S had the highest week 1 clear rate ever, and many of us spent our time in Fru, bored, and looking at floating damage numbers because the fight felt like a copy-paste of Eden's Promise with nothing innovative. And that is to say nothing of the repeated instances of losing stuff to buff caps, which made groups fail the DPS check for Fru. That is bullshit. We need to seriously, evaluate why. Because Final Fantasy XIV generates a lot of revenue. Why is buff caps a thing like this? Why is this not being addressed? This is a core fundamental issue. Why? Why? This needs to be looked into, urgently. 14 is not a low-budget game. 14 is not a low-revenue game. I would know because, we saw, it was a month or so ago, all the Square Enix earnings. Why are we acting like we're it's crazy to me. Buff caps should be raised. Absolutely. But that made groups fail the DPS check for free clear and put a downer on the enjoyment. Well, no shit. Combat difficulty has improved since, and the difficulty spike has been good. Chaotic was decent, and 5 through 8 has had a much better pace with varying mechanics, and 3 standard rotation out the window, and Fork Tower has been thoroughly enjoyable. That'd be fucking nice. Yeah, they say when you get in. Brother, I haven't fucking tried since I got portal sniped. I'm just like, fuck this. I'm sorry. Like, what, like... It's not that I don't care about the content. It's not that I don't respect the developers. I think that Ice Water Dragon thing was one of the coolest things. If it's ice and water themed, I love it. If you can make the next thing like a Beastmaster, but a water ice Beastmaster kind of caster with damage over time effects, do you know how quick I would main that shit? I would main that shit so quick that you would go, holy shit, my wig has been gommaged. Not only gommaged, but fromaged. Trust me, if you make that a job, I would fromage your wig. Cheddar cheese. Actually, I really love Monterey Jack cheese right now. It's so lit, but I digress. But buff cap, removing essential buffs such as closed positions are increasing and becoming more frustrating, as is the awful job balance, making the endgame combat less enjoyable than it should be. Yeah, Pictomancer was an issue. But the thing is, Pictomancer, it just got homogenized again, and it's like, I'm at the point where I kind of don't care. I'm so sick of homogenization, but this is coming from Scholar. And I know that people will be like, oh, just focus on... I know that there's the last point, which is like job balance and homogenization. I'll save it for them. Occult Crescent. Everything here has been said already a billion times already, but already worth stressing again, because this was supposed to be the middle ground combat content for casuals and hardcore players. So like, BOZJA already had near perfect blueprint for exploration content, while Occult Crescent has gone backwards. Let me emphasize that BOZJA had an amazing storyline. Like, we had the story of Danbu the Blessed, and then we had this one Makode girl. She was trying to save all of her legions of allies, and you as the warrior of light kept going in and sweeping them, just destroying them and getting rid of her allies, of her friends, and she eventually went crazy. We had Sarvatoire, or however you pronounce his name, the Inferno, and he kept popping up, and he kept being a pain in your ass. And then in the Del Riata, if you took the bike up, guess who you're fighting? Sarvatoire the Inferno. You had Leon with his giant griffin thing. The story, even just the story, was so engaging, so compelling. The characters were amazing, and they ended it on a cliffhanger where you have this Gabranth dude saying that he was going to continue his crusade. Where the fuck did any of this go? Why would you take something so well written and capable, written in a way that you could extend it, and just be like, nah. I said in my last video I didn't want to criticize it, and so I'm gonna cut that criticism there, but I have so much more I could say. It's not just the content, it's the story, the vibes, the feel. And obviously, because it's me, the Wrath guy. Everyone's gonna be of fucking course the Wrath guy. Where are they? I like them. Oh well. It's just some of you you're freaking cat girls with the bajunner, and it's just they move 1 centimeter, and it's you're literally breaking the sound barrier with a jiggle. Don't lie. I've seen enough VTubers. I know that it's too true. It's just this Jiggle just, it's the source of infinite energy. She just moves a millimeter, and then it's going I'm sorry. I'm in too good of a mood. Sorry. And oh my god. But Fort Tower is fantastic. I wouldn't know, but significantly down the entry system, as painful as pulling teeth. No, it's not as painful as pulling teeth, it's just fucking bad. Why, after BOZJA with Delubrium Regane, did we go do this? 15 steps backwards. Not just 1 or 2, 15 fucking steps backwards. Like, what the fuck? The zone needed a more casual, approachable instance in there in the form of Deluvium Regane normal, cast from Lacus Latori or the Dalariata. True! So true, then it burns. Like, it should have been a capstone that was easily accessible, that got you to try out the different phantom jobs in a harder, but not ridiculous form of content. Yet we have the Fort Tower. And do you know how much silver you need to grind for it? Like, my recommendation is to grind gold for those friggin' ciphers, but... fuck my life. What were they thinking with the system regression? Good question. Last point is job balance and homogenization. Every expansion's job balance gets progressively worse and worse, while job identity is more and more lost and simplified. The sheer disparity between Dawntrail, White Mage, and Astro DPS that grows... It's not the DPS! Not just the DPS. It's the DPS, but not just the DPS. That grows wider and louder over the tier. The disgusting output of Pictomancer and Fru, which was addressed, Machinist on life support, and... being regularly banned from instances for multiple tiers now. My clears in PF of 5 and 6 had a machinist. I think it was 7 too. I need to double check. But that was week 1 with the machinist. Every time more jobs are added, the balance skews and the dev teams appear more and more difficult time repairing it every time. Which is mind-blowing given how standardized gear and stats are. Bro, fucking everything's been standardized. The 2-minute meta job homogenization. We don't have a dot job. We don't have anything. There is... everything's been homogenized. It's all just crammed into a 2-minute fucking window. And I don't even have a DPS anymore because lolly lol, Summoner's not allowed to exist. Enjoy your pretty graphics. I think people really don't understand. I loved Summoner. That was what this channel was built on. I had like, what, 200 subs? And then Summoner actually put me on the roadmap. Like, because I made like a what? It was like an hour and 18-minute video talking about Summoner. I loved that shit. And you just fucking destroyed it, bro. And what do I have that's a dot job? What do I have that's a pet job? Oh, Beastmaster that's limited. Oh, great. I look forward to bringing that into the ultimate content or the savage tier. Like you can't even do fucking shit with a limited job. Like, it's not that I'm trying to be unappreciative because at least it exists, but it's like, does it? Not really. Like, what? I can't take that to the Dawntrail Hunt Train, which is the only hunt train I really run. Like, bro, not the video, I know. Nearly 2 patches for the gross disparity between Pictomancer and other jobs to get properly balanced, with nothing from Square Enix about why it took so long. Thus, we've come back full circle to the lack of communication being the biggest issue in this game at the moment. Most reasonable people can tolerate these issues, but then being compounded with the lack of we're working on it, here's what we're doing to fix it, with the known problem is causing serious discontent and making people feel like the $500, $150 to $200 they spend a year on this game, absolutely not worth it. Are you factoring in the expansion pack cost? Are you factoring in microtransactions? Are you factoring in the console? Are you factoring in... actually, does this need PlayStation Plus? Maybe I won't include that. Are you factoring in, like, electricity costs? When you play this, you're spending a lot more than just that. And saying that's absolutely not worth it. Eventually, many will unsub from it, and it will be hard to get those players back once a bad taste has left their mouth. Something has to change soon, or there will be no going back. Okie pokey. So, with that being said, look at World of Warcraft, okay? And I'm going to close this. Look at World of Warcraft. Look at how hard they've had to try to get good faith back from the players. And they've made some amazing decisions. I think even their newest tier, which is like the Goblins and something. I don't play World of Warcraft, but I've heard raving, great reviews about it. Look at that. Look at the new housing system that they're doing. Look at the massive core revamps that the World of Warcraft team has been doing to get people back to their game. Because Shitterlands was horrible. It was horrible. It absolutely totaled the game. And look at how hard they've had to work to get back that good faith. And I'm really feeling like someone said it to me, and actually one of my YouTube comments was, this is Final Fantasy XIV's Warlords of Draenor moment, where it's like, how to say it? Like, the raiding content apparently in Warlords of Draenor was really, really, really good. But it had nothing for, like, the middleman, the middle ground. And I'm really at that point where it's just like, I'm wondering, it's just like... Actually, I should probably be editing my OBS window, shouldn't I? But, sorry, I'm still getting used to this system, you know? But, we're just at the point in 14 where I really am needing to, like, question what's going on. Why when I look at the Square Enix financial report, is Final Fantasy XIV a massive driver, and where is that money going, and why is it not going back into the game? Why is it that Beastmaster's limited job? Why is it that we don't have dot jobs? Why is it that we don't have more casual content? Why is it that Occult Crescent went 15 steps backwards? Why is it that we don't have alternative forms of casual content? Why is it that Occult Crescent's basic format isn't just what every open world map is? I'm left asking these questions again and again and again and again, and it's like, why is the relic weapon another tombstone grind? You haven't heard me bitch about that yet, have you? I think that hasn't been on my mind. Why is it another fucking tombstone? Were we not clear enough in Endwalker? Like, what the fuck is this? I don't see people even using Endwalker relics anymore. And, like, it's once in a blue moon that I see any of them, and they stand out, like, with that cyberpunk glow. It should be cool. Oh my god, especially considering that we're in, hey, Solution 9. But, yet, where are they? I don't see them. And it's because they're lame. They don't mean shit. They're garbage. Why are they garbage? Because anyone can get them. It's literally a poetics dump. And poetics, they're worth less than the shit I took this morning. And it was a big one. And poetics are worth less than that. And it's just friggin' ridiculous. And so it's like no one uses it because it means nothing. It's all about the prestige. It's just like, if you think about World of Warcraft, they had the, what was it called? Invincible. Invincible was the mount's name. And I would really love to know, for Invincible, like, why it was valuable. Because it's rare, because it involved ABCXYZ. And so it was a more interesting mount. Whereas something that anyone could get, who cares? It doesn't mean shit. You could even argue the same about the ultimate weapons. It's just like, why does anyone care about the glow? I mean, I personally like the aesthetics of the free weapon. That's why I'm using it over the T weapon. The T weapons were gorgeous, but fundamentally you want it because it's just distinct. In many instances, I would argue that there's better glows in the game. Like, if you want a cool Dark Knight glow, oh my god, why don't you check out the Aloe one? And I would argue that clearing Aloe Island is like an ultimate in and of itself. Holy shit, that shit's difficult. Harder, that friggin' first boss, like I said, harder than any of the Savage fights that we've had so far this expansion. And I'm kind of left at a point where I'm like, what am I left to say? Like, my questioning continues on and on and on. It's like, sure, because we're just about there, the live letter, which I will be covering. I will be doing a summary, and I'll be, as usual, ensuring that I shut the fuck up on my opinions so I can deliver the information, because that's what people want. But, like, take Beastmaster being a limited job. Why? Go to World of Warcraft. No, I want to play Final Fantasy XIV, but what I'm going to raise is there's no pet job in here anymore. There used to be. Tanking Ramuh with Titan was brilliant. It was funny. I did it. It was excellent. But we can't have that, so that got gutted, and then now those pets got completely removed. And it's like, right now, the only pet job in the game, what is it? It's Scholar, which just so happens to be what I play. It doesn't even really feel like a pet that much anymore. Because once upon a time, you used to be able to cast the fairy skills completely in parallel. I could be casting Resurrection on someone and literally issuing fairy commands at the same time. It was a complete parallel system. I didn't need to worry about OGCD weaving at all. And it's like, even when you think about it, like, Seraph was a really cool pet. And it was like a pet ability, and it, like, shifted the skills, but they were still pretty homogenized to like base fairy. It's just like, you can't use Fey Blessing, instead you use Constellation. Whispering Dawn is on one, is Whispering Dawn on another, and so on. And it was like, really, why can't Beastmaster be a thing? Because even if you look at World of Warcraft's raiding scene, and I'd argue, I think that I'd win the argument very easily, that World of Warcraft's raiding scene is, on average, way more toxic. And we're talking, like, not just way more toxic. They will literally tell you to end, like, they'll tell you very nice things, like, to keep yourself all really safe. You know exactly what that means. But, and they'll tell right in the middle to raid chat. They have no issue with that. But Beastmaster Hunter is one of the most popular specs in Mythic World of Warcraft raiding in the current tier that the goblins Undermine, I think is what it's called, Undermine. And it's like, but a pet job couldn't possibly work. It's been in World of Warcraft since fucking vanilla. You could play Beastmaster Hunter in fucking vanilla World of Warcraft Classic. World of Warcraft Classic. Or like Guild Wars 2. It has a Beastmaster. What, that doesn't exist? Or take like Guild Wars 2 also has Necromancer with a bunch of minions, and you can minion swarm. You've been able to do that in Guild Wars 2 since Guild Wars 2 was released. So you'll have to forgive my complete and utter disbelief that this is just somehow magically impossible. Just totally outlandish. Cole has lost his marbles. I mean, I've lost my marbles in other ways, but he has lost his marbles. Beastmaster is not possible. Don't even bring it up, because it's not technologically feasible. Brother, we have, like, and this is not me glazing someone, but, like, we literally have, like, self-landing fucking rockets. Pardon me for not thinking it's pretty reasonable to be like, can I get a pet job with dots again? Because you kind of killed it. It was kind of my thing. Please. But yeah, there are my thoughts on that Reddit post, and I mean, I'm gonna go back, and it's just like, why hasn't there been a few videos on Occult Crescent and stuff since? Because it's like, I don't want to be negative. I don't. Like, people are like, oh my god, clickbaiting grifter, and it's like, bro, check my fucking Twitter. Like, no. I posted a freaking direct image of my YouTube analytics for that video. It was like $4.50 Canadian. Which we all know Canadian isn't worth the same as USD. It's worth a lot less. $4.50. And you're going to tell me that this is a grift. Bro, it wasn't even worth the time to make a thumbnail for that. But in earnest, I don't want to be negative about the game anymore. I hate it. I hate the state that the game's in. I hate the fact that there's no casual content to do. I'm really upset that Occult Crescent was 15 steps behind BOZJA. Like, it's like, why are the phantom jobs so boring? Why the fuck is one of the best jobs, one of the best phantom jobs, Ranger? Oh my god, my wing is being enlarged! Why does that boil down to being a 2-minute buff? Again, the formula is running so deep in this game that it's like, even the phantom jobs are a 2-minute meta. And I'm like, why? And this is the kind of shit that I want to hear about. It's just like, okay, what are the plans for the next Phantom jobs? Are there going to just be repetitions of this, about a 2-minute meta? And it's like, oh, the coolest thing that we have is Cannoneer. And what is it? It's 3 on the GCD bursts of damage.
Revolutionary, my week has been gamashed. Oh girl, my week has been gamashed. Oh my god, the fromage rains from the sky.
I am so done. Anyhow, I have people to annoy now.
Lots of things to do, lots of people to see, lots of people to
Annoy. Chaos Gremlin checking out.